Welcome back to my channel. So today I thought that I would do my 2022 lineup and kind of walk you through like where my mind is in terms of like my planning. So I did not think, or I did not believe that this decision could be so hard. Usually this decision for me is very easy. I already have an idea of what I want to use, but lately I have been loving so many things, especially like the Stology and the Moleskine notebooks, that this was a really hard decision to make. And not only that, I bought a couple of things that I wanted to use as well. So there's that. So this year, I really slimmed down a lot. Like, I don't know, I used to be really into really thick notebooks, and I'm still very much so into them. That never ever is gonna change. I just love the chunk. But in terms of like my everyday carries and stuff like that, I'm leaning more towards smaller compact sizes. I still like some chunk. That probably will never go away. But the more that I plan in the Stology, the more I can appreciate just having just that one book. So right now to date, I'm using the A6 Stology, and it is being housed in this Moterm Versa cover. And I really love this whole setup. You know, I have all my cards here. I have my credit cards, and then I have some miscellaneous cards that I'm not using, and I keep like some important information, reference information, sticky notes, all that kinds of stuff, receipts. So I have, and I'm just pulling these back out because I need to remember that those are there because I've been doing some budgeting. But I have been loving this whole setup, this whole shebang for a hot minute. And I do have, so to date, I have this much of the Stology, which is, that's a lot. That's a lot. But I've used this much of it so far, and this is probably the first time that I can honestly say that I absolutely love a notebook. So the notebooks that I have fallen deeply in love with are the Moleskines and the Stology. And I'm understanding now why it is such a popular book. It is because of the paper and the way that it feels, even if you just write on it. So I love that. So this year, I told myself that I wasn't going to buy ring inserts because every time that I do, I don't stick with the system too long. It helps me in some aspects of my life, but long term, it just doesn't work out for me. So rings are out for this coming year. So a couple of things. So I am considering staying in this book until it is complete. My decisions on this is solely based on the fact that I want to really finish this book, and I'm really content and happy in this just being like a basic to-do, basic weekly tracker, weekly overview, and things like that. So I'm really loving this. I have a couple of options as to what I can change into for the new year once this is done, because between journaling and list making and whatnot, this book is not going to last that long. I mean, I've only been in it really since the end of October and all of November, and I filled out a lot of pages in here just with November by itself. So I know this isn't going to last too long. So a couple of options that I have in mind is when this Stology is done, I have a A6 Sequins this is an option that I consider going into after this is done. I just really love making my own layouts, doing that kind of thing. So really digging this. I don't have another A6 Stology, unfortunately, and to buy them here in Germany are like $30 just for this book, and it's like 36 or so just for the B6, which I'm gonna get to in a minute. But yeah, I really love this little setup right here. So this will, once that's done, that will be shelves, and then I will move into something else. This is a sequence that I used earlier this year, kind of like on and off. There's some blank pages in it. Right now it just sits on my desk, and if I need it for scratch paper, I will use it for that. I decided to just start a new sequence because this was dated back in 2020, and yeah, I don't want to see these things. So I will just use the book as like a scrapbook for whatever. But I just wanted to show how it sits in the Versa. So once, you know, like once this is done, or once I'm done with the Stology, I will put a sequence in here. And it adds, you know, more chunk than the sequence, or, oh my gosh, I'm getting these books mixed up. It adds more chunk than the Stology for sure. So not going to be able to fit too many things in the pockets, but I don't really have anything in here anyway. I do keep, like I mentioned in earlier videos, I do keep like a reference book. That's the only extra book that I keep in here. And I keep this little notepad, which comes in handy. So in terms of like an everyday carry of some sort, this is what it's looking like for 2022. I hope that I said that right, because this morning has been crazy. My 5-month-old has been whiny, so I'm just trying to get some stuff filmed and whatnot while he is taking his 45-minute nap, because he does not nap. So that is that. A couple of other options that I had considered for 2022 is I do have a 2022 setup ready to go. This is initially what my 2022 setup was going to be and may still be. This is my passport. I did a whole video on this some videos back. The layout is technically still the same. There are just a couple of different things that I just replaced. So to span through this, all the decorations will stay the same. I have a gridded notebook in the front. This is going to be my notes book now for weekly notes. And I have this book here, which is lined. This is going to be a collections book. Things, not so much of a reference, but more so just like, you know, things that I want to write down and then add to my collection or my reference books. I have a whole system with my reference notebooks now that I am starting. And so I'm no longer going to have like reference books everywhere anymore. So that's that. And then in this craft folder, I now have a weekly. And I actually found a weekly book that has somewhat of a layout that I can deal with or work with. I do miss having notes with the weeklies, but I can work around that. It's a 6-month book, and there are 2 books in the pack. So the front pages is just like your key monthly events, and you can write in all your months and then write your events for the months. You have a My Journal page about me, things that make me happy and things that I'm improving. When you get to the end of the book, you have a couple of these note pages and sketch pages. And then the last page obviously is new places to visit and new things to try. So this is taking the place of me having to draw out my weeklies and whatnot every single month. So I will no longer be doing that. I also will no longer be doing the tracking part in here as well. So that is that. I have a Moleskine Cahier booklet, and this is for on-the-go sketching, drawing, whatever. I love journaling, and I've grown to love journaling even more this year. I've always been an avid journaler, never shared my journaling per se, but I have many books that I've written in, including a giant A4 book that took me at least 3 years to complete. Before I just got, overwhelmed with the final pages and gave up. But it took me like 3 years to complete. And yeah, I really love journaling. So I just include a journal in every planner that I have now, or a little bit of journaling in every planner that I have. And then this is the Moleskine 12-month daily planner. And this is taking the place of the Leuchtturm 1917 that I had in here that I was using for dailies. So it's technically the same system. It's just a little bit of unease for me because I don't have to date and draw out everything like I did with the weekly book that I had created and the daily book that I had created. So this is already set up for me. Now, I don't there is a part of me that doesn't want to use this, and then there's a part of me that wants to use this because it's a system that is very reliant. But like I said, I am really loving that Stology paper and just being in that one book and only having to deal with that one book. But we'll see as time goes on. But this is a for sure going into the new year. So the things that are considerables when I get the itch to change sizes. So there are a couple of things. So I had bought these B6 covers earlier this year. This is from Paperbound Creations, and this is from Printpressions. This booklet, I bought it to go with this thicker journal. It's just a little cheap journal that I bought off Amazon. They were like $10, really. It is a blank journal. I have another one that I use too, but I took that one out because I was using it a lot. And it's not the best of quality books, but it is really fun to write on. I will say that it's really fun to fill up these pages. But anyway, I put this in here mainly because I really wanted a thicker journal, and I was filling up the smaller journals that I have like really, really fast, and so I wanted something that I could journal in for a longer bit of time. So that's where this came in handy. Ooh, and I just shook my camera. I'm so sorry. But I ordered from Amazon.com for US. I ordered 2 B6 Stologies. I know, right? I ordered these, and I only ordered these because I have been in my A6 Stology and really loved the paper, so much so that I was considering maybe turning this whole TN situation into my everyday carry. And yeah, just rocking with these 2 books for however long that I needed to. So I tried one book in here, but it didn't sit too well, and it kind of needs some more inserts for this to sit really, really well. So I figure if I do turn this into like a everyday carry of some sort or what have you, I'll just put both booklets in there and set them up for my needs. I can always replace the books, but I definitely need a little bit of something in here to keep the structure of this cover. So that is one option that I have in terms of an everyday carry after I finish my A6. So like I said, I do have the sequins that I intend to put in there, but if I just really want to stay in a Stology and move up in size at that, I also have the B6 Stologies as well. Another tea and kind of a traveler's notebook system that I have is I have some, I want to make sure that I have these. I have these little booklets here, so don't mind the die cuts. I put these in there because I had it inside of something, but decided not to use it, and I just haven't taken the die cuts out. So these two booklets and the covers I got from a shop called Sunshine Sticker Co. And these little booklets are equivalent to a week's cover. Now, I do want to get a actual cover for this, like a cover like the Hobonichi, how the Hobonichi has the cover on cover situation. I do want to get a cover for this. It is a weird size, but it is equivalent to a week's. I do have the print impression weeks, and I wasn't going to share this, but I feel like, like I need to share this for size preferences. So this book here is thicker, and it is shorter than the PP weeks, and it is also a tad, just a smidge. I want to say it's a smidge wider. Oh no, actually it's the same size. Okay, so it's the same size, but it's just a tad bit taller. I had the PP weeks for, I was gonna use that, but the PP weeks, after having it and flipping through it, it really just isn't made well at all. And I'm glad I didn't pay too much for it, because it was on sale when I got it, but it's really not a well-made book. And my traveler's notebook already damaged the inside of it, and my strings were not tight at all, so that's very disappointing. But I also had these as well, and really like these much better. So these are 120 GSM books. They have dot grid paper. It's bright white paper, and there are 192 pages. This shop has a plethora of things for your bullet journals, like stencils, monthly stencils. She does stickers. She has a ton of these plastic PVC covers for her books. I don't think that they would fit like a week's or anything. They only fit her books specifically. And she has a different kind of variety styles. So the styles that I have is called the Wizard Collection, and it has a cloth cover, and there's a little wizard kind of a emblem on the front, like a wand kind of an emblem. Let's see if I can. Here, let's do this. Let's take out the die cuts so I can show you. So that is the emblem on all of the Wizard books, and this is the gold. So yes, I have these books as like a backup as to something else I could use for everyday carry, but I want to get like another cover. I am eyeing currently a Filofax Saffiano zip because I see that you can put the Hobonichi weeks in them really well. So my idea is to try it out for these, and then if it works, then I will use this as another option for everyday carry. So technically my system for 2022 is all bound books, and I have a bunch of things that I can use and go into, and if I don't use them, that's fine also, because then I have them on standby. And the last thing that I have for 2022, or the last couple of things that I have, is these Moleskine books. So I tore a page out of here because I was gonna use it and then decided not to use it. So this is the Moleskine expanded book, and it is a dot grid, and this is the hardcover. You can't even tell that I tore a page out of here. That's crazy. It is the Moleskine expanded version, and it is just dot grid paper, And I was going to use this as like a bullet journal on its own, but I actually didn't want to use it anymore after I sort of set it up. So I ripped that page out, and now it will be just a blank book on standby for whatever. And then I have a soft cover in red, and this is in plain. And like I said, these are just books. They're not necessarily a part of my 2022 lineup, but they are just books that I can go into when I really want to go into something bigger. But as of right now, I am trying to look for stuff that is easy to carry. I do have a couple of journals and things that I will be using. I did want to share one last thing. I wanted to share my December system. So I am definitely using my Stology. Gosh, I don't know why I couldn't get that out, but I'm definitely using my Stology. But I had come across, so I bought this TN some months ago, and I was gonna use it. I had gotten there is a lady on Instagram, I think it's journaling to journal home or so, I forget. Oh my gosh, I cannot think of her name, but she always writes in her journal and posts pictures, and she always does like the reels where she like talks about like how journaling helped her and how she journals and stuff like that. I got really inspired by her setup. So I wanted to use a TN, but that was months ago. And I never went through with it. So here I am really wanting to do something with this TN. So I bought these booklets from Amazon, and I got them off of Amazon.de for Germany. And I do not know if they have these booklets on Amazon.com for USA, only because the seller that I got it from, she was based out here in Germany. So I don't know if her products are available US as well. Like I did not even check. So there are two sellers. So one is the Traveling Pixie, and one is Ali Scraps. And the Traveling Pixie made this first booklet. It's a December booklet. She makes monthly booklets, habit trackers, ink journals, reading journals, all that kinds of stuff. She makes these books. They're not superior quality in terms of paper. You get a matte finish cover, and you get a decorated cover, but you're not getting like superior quality in terms of paper. So in the booklet, there is a December overview, and it's all undated. I'm sorry, I think I'm out of frame. It's all undated. You have a monthly plan, and this includes your priorities and goals, appointments, and to-dos. You can already see that I filled mine out for this month. You also have a habit tracker and mood tracker for this month. And then you have your weekly layouts with notes. I have the baby monitor on, so I am paying attention for my son's cries. If you hear them, I'm sorry. I may have to end the video to go tend to him. But once you get past all of the weeklies, you get to these dot grid pages, and I believe there are 50 dot grid pages. And what I did is I just turned them into daily pages. So I turned all of them into dailies, and I washi taped the sides of them with this Christmassy foiled washi tape that I got from Amazon. And this is what it looks like. I know my light leaves a glare. So yeah, I just did that. And then the rest of these sheets, because like I said, there's 50, you can pretty much do whatever you want to do with them. You can use them for notes, you can use them for memories or whatnot, or if you have longer days, you can do that. And then there's some advertisement on the back. So I really wanted to use this TN, like I said, and I wanted it to be like a happy place for me to just go in and not be so serious. Not saying that my Stology isn't, but this is not so much geared towards, you know, like you got to do this, you got to do that, appointments here, appointments there. It's a place that I just want to be creative in and like just sticker up like crazy and draw and paint and all that stuff. So I do have an art book in here, and that's what I was flipping through. So this is just an art book with a craft folder wrapped around it. It is really, really thick paper. I want to do some paint swatches. I have some watercolor brushes from Tomax that I want to use. And then I also have just 3 more dot grid journals that I want to use for either like journaling, memory keeping, collections. Like I said, I now have like a collections book in almost everything, or list. I want to use it for list or something like that. So I just have these 3 books here for whatever, but mainly I have my plan book, which is the December, and then an art journal. So this is the December setup. So yeah, that's pretty much like, and if this happens to work out really, really well for me, I will probably try to incorporate it into my 2022 lineup, but I'm not holding my breath on that because like I said, I wanted something that was a little bit smaller than this. And I like the idea of this standard TN, especially because I used standard some years ago, like maybe 2 years ago, 3 years now. I want to say it's 3 years now, but I used standard some time ago and I really, really loved it. But I don't know if I can hang with the size anymore. It seems massive compared to a regular A5, and I don't know why that is, because this is literally an A5 just cut in half. But that's neither here or there, right? So yeah, guys, that is my 2022 lineup. That's what the considerables are. That's my December book. That is everything in a nutshell, pretty much. Like I said, I have a bunch of things that I can play with before now. I am definitely keeping it very, very simple this time around. And yeah, as time goes by, I will definitely update as things do change. But that is it. That is the system. We'll see how well I do. I think I'll do pretty well this year without rings, though there's a teeny bit of me that always gets excited about rings, but ultimately at the end of the day, I find myself back here. So there's that. But until then, I will see you guys next time. And I thank you so much for watching. And yeah, happy holidays, everyone. Bye.